History's Greatest Myths, Part 1. So, a common thing you'll see on the internet, on TikTok, on YouTube, is this idea that the reason why the Germans lost the Second World War, especially on the Eastern Front against the Soviet Union, is because of the Russian winter. And that's just not true. The Russian winter is not the reason the Germans lost the Second World War. Hi, I'm Dan the Historian, and today we're going to be interrogating the claim that the Russian winter is the reason the Germans lost on the Eastern Front and would eventually lose the Second World War. If that's something that interests you, watch the rest of the video. Hit a follow, hit a like, hit a share, hit a repost, hit a comment if you disagree with me. If you disagree with me, you're just wrong, I'm sorry. So during the Second World War, the Germans and the Soviets were essentially not quite allies, but had signed a non-aggression pact where they would divide up Poland and Eastern Europe between them, essentially as a way of delaying war and conflict between the two sides. This was used by the Germans as a way of focusing on defeating who they thought were their main enemies on the continent, which was France, and they were able to defeat the French in the summer of 1940. However, the Germans were unable to defeat the British because the German Navy, the Kriegsmarine, was just not able to go up against the British home fleet, and the German Luftwaffe, the Air Force, was unable to defeat the RAF during the Battle of Britain, and thus the Germans couldn't launch a naval invasion. Adolf Hitler would eventually issue Führer Directive 21, where he would call for the drawing up the planned invasion of the Soviet Union, and what they came up with was Operation Barbarossa. Now, Operation Barbarossa called for 3 army groups: Army Group North, Army Group Center, and Army Group South, with 4 panzer groups. Now, the ultimate flaw with Operation Barbarossa is that the campaign called for the defeat of the Soviet Union in 13 weeks. The reason for this was that the German logistical system could not support a war outside of 13 weeks. And so when the Soviet Union was not defeated in 13 weeks, the German logistical system broke down. And those two issues, poor strategic planning and logistics, will lead to the defeat of the Germans on the Eastern Front in the Second World War, not the Russian winter.